Autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears will be sent to you for a $100 donation, or you can buy the book directly from the publisher. See links in the description. Hello, this is Dave from Net4 Truth, USA. It is March 31st, 2018. And as I was researching what to do in this video, what to call it, I knew I wanted to go with the theme of completely disarming, dismantling, and emasculating the deep state. And I was thinking that's a good word to use, emasculate. That means to take the force out of, to take the aggressiveness out of something. But you can do that psychologically. I wanted a term that I could use that is more of a physical thing. And as I was doing this, I talked into Google. I said, tell me the word that's used for cutting somebody's balls off. And it then came up with orchiotomy. And I said, orchidectomy? What am I, what am I doing? Cutting flowers? What are you doing? I got some orchids and I'm cutting them and I'm making an orchidectomy. But that's the word. So that's the word I'm going to use. The orchidectomy of the deep state. First step has been accomplished with the executive order seizing the assets of all the child traffickers and money launderers and all of that. But that's only the first step, because the executive order is only good where the executive order has jurisdiction within the boundaries of the United States and its territories. You can't, go to a foreign government and say, give me all this guy's money. They're going to laugh at you unless you can dangle something over their head like, oh yeah, well, we're not going to send you any more aid anymore or any of that stuff. And some of these countries we're not sending aid to, and they'll tell you, abango. So the second step has to be the reset of the currency. And I believe that this has been secretly underway for a long, long time, probably even before Trump took office. And I'll leave you to explore some links in the description that I will leave for you to do some more research. But the next step has to be a currency reset. Currency that you have in your pocket will no longer be valid unless you can turn it in. Small denominations, not a problem. Paychecks, not a problem. Domestic bank accounts for people who work for a living, not a problem. But somebody who wants to exchange $1 million in cash for the new currency will have a big problem, because he or she will have to prove where that cash came from. And Hillary Clinton and Maxine Waters and a host of others come to mind. So I will narrate the rest of this because I've got to get out of here and I got to do some other things. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it strikes a bell. And hopefully this is something that Donald Trump is thinking of doing. The last person who tried to do this was John F. Kennedy. And we all know where that went. But I think Trump is a lot smarter than that. Thank you very much for listening. Orchiectomy, also named orchidectomy, and sometimes shortened as orchi, is a surgical procedure in which one or both testicles are removed. The removal of both testicles, called bilateral orchiectomy, is the surgical form of castration. Well, the first part of the orchiectomy has been done with the seizure of assets by executive order. Unfortunately, the executive order has no teeth outside U.S. jurisdiction, except perhaps where the U.S. can use the threat of cessation of financial aid for non-compliance. This is a tangled and complex situation. Seizure of assets is one part of a two-part surgery. It still leaves one functional nard intact. Funding for the deep state comes from multiple sources which are outside the reach of executive orders. Since the funding is done in currency in one form or another, the next part of the orchiectomy is logically a currency reset. Besides solving a multiplicity of problems related to drug traffickers and sex traffickers who deal in cash, a currency reset stops the counterfeiters dead and will completely and instantly dismantle the IRS and the Federal Reserve Bank. Such a move would make those responsible a red-hot target of the deep state, shades of John F. Kennedy. Will the president take the next logical step in the operation? If the objective is to be accomplished, the draining of the abyss of corruption is to be completed. A reissuance of the currency, what JFK began with the issuance of silver-backed currency, must finally be done. I have to believe that this is a plan that is currently in progress. When complete, the deep state will be bankrupt, and the alternative funding sources that could not be touched by asset seizure will be left holding useless paper. The paper could not be converted into the new currency, and thieving politicians would be broke. In addition, the recovered wealth, which the bankers and the world's so-called elite have stolen from taxpayers, would be used to negate all private debt. This would eliminate all mortgages, loans, and car payments. All credit card debt would simply evaporate. It would disappear in an instant because the old currency in which the debt is owed simply no longer exists. Those who have the old cash would have to prove it was legitimately earned in order to exchange it for the new currency. The frazzled rat, Maxine Waters, and a host of politician millionaires who never worked a day in their lives except laboring over their schemes to fuck taxpayers out of more of their hard-earned money will be left to suck wind and pound salt. There would be little, if anything, left in their coffers. No funds to buy voters, protesters, or terrorists. No money to pay bribes or fund fake Russian collusion bullshit, and no money to pay off judges or high-profile lawyers to keep them from testing the static strength of the rope tied neatly into a hangman's noose. Autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears will be sent to you for a $100 donation. You can get the book from Amazon or buy it directly from the publisher at LuLu.com. Links are in the description section.